Hello, welcome to my Good Life meditation video. It's the 13th day of May, 2025. My name is Kurt. I'm doing this a little earlier than usual. I'm out for my morning walk up to the temple here in Hirasawa village. And I noticed I had strong signal, so I thought I'd give this a try. Let's see how this goes. I wonder if I can walk through the Satoriyama and do this as I walk. Anyway, this is a daily video that I do, usually shortly after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles. Those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about yesterday and how I did with any challenges or opportunities that I met of that were of particular interest, particularly if they caused me to bring to bear my principles to help me to handle the challenge or the opportunity in a reasonable and adult manner. I also go over the 8 objectives of my creed and one of the principles, and then I plan for the coming day. So let's get into it in earnest as I prepare to veer off of the road here and leaving the village and enter onto the farm roads. It's a very pleasant little walk. I hope the connectivity will last. We'll see. It's considered today an experiment. All right, first, yesterday and last night. Now, I don't have my notes with me. I actually elected this morning to go on my hike without my little pack. So I'm just doing this off of my memory. Yesterday, it wasn't anything in particular that challenged me, as there seems to be rather rare that anything like that happens at all anymore. I think it's because my life has become rather insular, insofar as I'm not in the fray. It would be like if a soldier was asked to recount the situations of their daily fights and battles, and then they are no longer dispatched to the field anymore, and they find themselves safely behind the front lines on their own side. Well, there's not a lot to report. Likewise, that seems to be happening to me. And that's a good thing. Although I prefer to be engaged and challenged in life, there's other ways that I can be engaged and challenged. I can engage my mind with reading and exploring ideas, which I do a lot now. I don't do as much reading as I'd like, but I certainly do explore a lot of ideas. I do a lot of walking and thinking, just the thing I'm doing right now in places like this, which is boy, I'll tell you, when I was heading out to retire and come to Japan, this is what I was dreaming about doing. And I don't turn the camera on a lot anymore. I mostly just walk and think. So as a result, my reporting then, I can't report that I had a particular meeting where my boss gave me a challenge that was difficult to manage, nor can I report that there's something going on with my daughter that I need to be adult up and handle in a mature way, because those things just don't happen anymore. But I can say that I was rewarded, but it's too strong a word. I encountered a very pleasant circumstance of thought in the evening after dinner when I went upstairs before our dog walk, and the evening light was filtering through the bamboo forest and the sounds of the river coming up into my room. And I felt a great sense of peace. Wasn't any thought necessarily attending that, but sometimes it's good to set the thought tools away and live a little. I guess that's more of the peaceful, easy feeling, isn't it? Different incarnations and aspects of it. PEF. These are rice fields here. That's the farmer's house. And we'll probably be coming to mowing this very soon. Some of the rice fields, like this one here, have been turned into farms. The pleasant little bridge right there across the water. That bridge leads up to an abandoned farm up there, completely abandoned, all gone back to nature. These are all big cherry trees right here. 3 or 4 weeks ago, that was just covered in white. You would walk through here, it'd be just a corridor of white. I rarely show you guys these things. I've been kind of keeping them to myself. Maybe I'll do that more in the future, but maybe not. One thing that happened yesterday that was interesting was I was interviewed by Kevin O'Shea from the Just Japan podcast. He's interviewed me a couple of times over the course of my career and life as a YouTuber. Kevin has, like I said, the Just Japan podcast where he talks typically with content creators from Japan, and he wanted to catch up and get kind of a status report 5 months into this retirement journey. He was also very curious about the process that Yumiko and I experienced in finding our old Akiya house, buying that house, and doing the remodeling that we did. Here's another nice little area of farmland. So we had that interview, and here's the thing. Okay, I guess I was challenged yesterday. People don't want to hear. No, I shouldn't say it that way. That couches it in too much of a strong position. I've got things I want to say about the retirement experience that aren't positive. Namely, that this can be a dangerous experience. I feel like a guy that's gone forward, an advanced soldier gone over the hill. Maybe like the scout on the Donner Party. Remember them? Ones that went into the mountains and had that tragic experience. I feel like a scout that's come back from the poking around in the mountains ahead. Come back and say, it's pleasant up there. It's really nice. But if we're not prepared, that can go bad. And that's how I feel whenever I'm talking to people about my retirement experience. I seem like I'm always and I'm not a negative person, but I'm always bringing up some cautionary observations that don't seem to sit well with people. And I think the one that yesterday that kind of came forward was when I told Kevin, because Kevin and I both were content creators more than a decade ago in Japan, when I told him that my ideas of coming back to Japan and doing Walking in Japan, Band in Japan, Real Japan Monsters, and all those old brands that I once had that were my hallmark before, I said, I don't want to do that stuff anymore. And I told him an anecdote about how I went earlier in the week, I went to the end of a farm road, and adventure awaited, and it was a farm road that I had adventured on before. And 15 years ago, I would have been up into the green, exploring and finding stuff. I told him, I just turned around and left. I was surprised to come to Japan and find that the man that I used to be wasn't waiting here for me. It doesn't seem to really exist anymore. And then I add into that the fact that retirement can be a blessing and a great challenge if we aren't ready to do something with it. If we're not ready to face the freedom that's unencumbered with necessity. Yeah, we can fill our days with hobbies, but that's not the same as filling our days with purposeful work that brings in a salary, that supports a spouse, and carries our children into their next stages. So in the evening, I had a talk with Yumiko about that, my wife. And she reminded me, but Kurt, because I told her, I said, Yumiko, I got nothing, I got lots of things I can do, but none of them feels like the satisfaction of work. Even though I didn't enjoy my job, I didn't. I said, I enjoyed the sense of feeling. This is why I went to America in the first place, why I left Japan. Japan, I didn't feel like I could be the provider that I knew I could be. very bottom lining there. And I went to America and pulled that off. And freedom doesn't replace that. And Yumiko very deftly, without even giving it a second thought, reminded me that our current sustenance, mainly through my pension, is a result of my work, and that every month when we're maintained by our retirement income, it's a result of largely my efforts. Now, I would categorize that as a collected effort between the two of us, because we're a couple and a pair, but in fact, that comes through my pension. So yeah, thank you, Yumiko, for pointing that out. In a way, it's kind of like a momentum, a purpose momentum driving forward. Isn't this pleasant? So that was yesterday. Kind of challenge. I guess I did have some challenges in a way. I had to flesh them out through thinking here. Challenges came of speaking my honest mind about the experience of life now, and gaining a sense of that I want to be quiet. Maybe this is why retired people don't often talk about their experience, because I think a lot of them experience the same thing, other they don't cogitate over it, and they don't even give it the words. Maybe they just live it out, or find a way to overcome it, or they take up drinking, or whatever the case is, or maybe for some people hobbies is enough. Maybe they get themselves a motorhome and a couple of motorcycles and a jet ski, and they take off in a lazy boy recliner, and they coast through the end of their days. That would never satisfy me, as I told Kevin yesterday. And he asked me, he said, what remains for you, Kurt? And I told him it's very simple. The sharing and the communication of the message in my book, Going Alone. The Good Life Creed. That is how I will spend. That's because Kevin asked me, what could you do now that would yield that sense of purposeful living? I said, that's primarily it. And the main thing I do is this video right here, the Good Life Meditation, is where I do that most actively. So it was a good day yesterday. I guess I was challenged in a way. I was challenged to face down a little more of myself. How did I respond to it? Well, I used fortitude, as always, to control my reaction. In the moment of the interview yesterday with Kevin, I was actively controlling what I was saying, making sure I was avoiding going over the top with some ideas, measuring my words, trying to stay mature and collected throughout the process, while also being spontaneous and having a good time. And I think I pulled that off. Pull it off. It sounds like it's something I got to do. Yeah, I guess good living is always hard work. The other thing I did then was that I took my case to my wise wife and had a talk with her about it, and she offered some good advice as well. Now, if you might be saying, well, or this is coming to my mind, wow, that's a lot of stuff focused on you, Kurt. Well, remember, that's what this video is. This Good Life Meditation is my journal entry going over what it was in the course of the last 24 hours that I tried to do or could have done better to tune myself to be a better human being. So yeah, so if I'm talking all about myself from yesterday, that's the purpose, that's the reason, because that's what this video is about. Doesn't mean it was all about me all day yesterday. We did take care of my father-in-law. I did spend a lot of time with my wife. I did engage in household projects. I did reach out to my mom and talk to her as well. So there's that. It's just that this video is focused on me, because it's my journal. That bird making that sound right there, it saw something it doesn't like. That's its warning call. So as for the creed, it consists of 8 objectives: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions relative to my creed, to recognize my true limits and true opportunity, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, to keep my balance. And that's it. I won't do a principle because I don't have the book. And now but I'm liking this. I have my wallet in my back pocket with my foreigner card. I'm liking not carrying anything and coming out like this. This is nice. Foot flus. I'm stopping. I'm doing push-ups, doing exercises, stretching things. It's a lot of good stuff. Here's another one of those bridges. As for today, what am I going to do today? Well, like you may know if you've seen these videos, I've settled on just one thing a day to do. One thing. Yesterday, I successfully replaced a torn screen on one of the windows in our house. And today I'm going to do the same. There's another window, and I got enough extra screen. And now I have the tools and the know-how to replace that one, and I'll replace the other one. It's amazing how the day rises to fill everything all the time. In all the in-between time. There goes a blue heron. So that's what the day will be. Let's see if there's any comments. Major Winters Ogoshi. Hi. Ohio from Wales, UK. Hey there. Welcome. Roku Jones. Hey Kurt, back when you were in college years, did you prefer Del Taco or Taco Bell more? Del Taco, for sure. That was Del Taco for the win. I still feel that way. I'm adamant. Aaron. Hey Kurt, today my employer asked me to start my retirement 2 years sooner than I planned, and I'm feeling down in the dumps. Aaron goes on, wonder if you could give me a couple words of encouragement. Coming from you, it'd mean a lot to me. Well, I guess my question would be, why do you feel down in the dumps? Is it because we're not really having a conversation, so I'll just explore. And by the way, here's a scarecrow. And there's a cuter scarecrow right over here. There's a farmer right up there, so I'll stay right here right now and finish off from here, so I don't want to disturb the farmer's peace with my voice. I guess the thing is to figure out why you feel down in dumps, right? I mean, maybe you're not ready to retire. Maybe you have other things in mind. So I don't know. I can't offer any words in particular to your scenario because I don't know your scenario. But if I was in your situation, I would literally get out a piece of paper and I would list out the facts of the matter. What my options are. If they asked you to retire 2 years early, does that mean it's a command? Is it something you have to do? Do you have a choice? Could you say no and stay an additional 2 years? If it's a foregone conclusion that you must retire, then lay out what that means in terms of the facts of the matter. Do you have a spreadsheet that lays out your budget, what the income that will come in versus your expenses? Will you be able to sustain yourself? If not, then what changes could you make to adjust that? So I guess it's seeing you've got a couple of forks ahead of you on the road. What are your options? And if you don't have options, then how can you structure your life to make it through the course that you have to follow, you have to walk, and then use the 2 years that you have, because it sounds like you have. Well, you said 2 years sooner than you wanted, right? Is that what it was? So that doesn't mean. So I don't know when they want you to retire. Does that mean they want you to retire this summer, 2 years sooner than you planned, or you have a couple of years? If it's soon, then get that plan together, and then you'll deal with the changing shift in life that comes when it happens. If you've got some time, then prepare yourself for the change as well as readying yourself for the road ahead. So I think that's the best I can do. I'm sorry if it's not really words of encouragement. I don't know your circumstance enough to be able to speak to it. So, but wish you all the best. And, let me know. Send me an email, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com if you want to talk. Hi, Robert. Good morning to you. Jamsey says, hey, Kurt, hope you're well. Got tested by Life last week. Car was written off and my job is quite unstable. Working late right now to stay on top of your stream. On top of your stream is a blessing I needed. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds like life is indeed putting some speed bumps in front of you. Car was written off too. Wow. Job is unstable. Boy, that's really tough. Is this an opportunity maybe to explore some exit ramps? I mean, whether you're forced off the highway that you're on right now, so to speak, or whether you choose to do it, maybe, what options you might have to move forward. I have found, and it's cliche to say, but it's true, that usually it's when I've fallen down hardest in life that I found that to be a juncture and a segue into a new stage of life, all related to my attitude. When I fell down in life and my attitude was that my life is over, which was never the case, because well, largely for me, it was always because I had a family and I had no choice, right? And I'm not a given up kind of guy. But so, can you do something to reinforce yourself and to prepare yourself for what you may have to do to sustain yourself? Or you could fall down, fall down and give up, because some people do, right? They fall down and give up. I hope you won't do that, because life is precious and brief, and I'm rooting for you. Send me an email, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com, if you want to talk. Robert says hi to everybody again. Good Tago. Hello to you. Robert says hi to Good Tago. Bag of Walnuts. Hi there. Good morning to you. Have you seen the film Perfect Days? No, I haven't. Sorry if you've been asked this loads before. If you haven't, it maybe has some messages, meditations, and life's purpose, which may be of interest, may be interesting to you. Thank you for the recommendation. Hash 004. I used to be an ALT in Shizuoka City, 2016 to 18. I miss Shiz so much. Your vlogs help me reminisce. You and I, our paths may have crossed. I was living in Shizuoka City in 2016 and 18. How interesting. Mog, hi Mark. Good morning to you, Kurt. The sun has just set here in the UK at 10 p.m. Looks great there. Thanks for all the vids as usual. My work week is going well. Into the office this week. It's going to be hot. All right, good luck to you, Mog. Robert says hey to everybody. Jamsy, my job being unstable, I try to see it as a gentle push to get myself out of there, update the CV, portfolio, etc. I'm about to own my first home, so no chance of falling down yet. Yes, sometimes it's great to have those things that, ground us so much that you have, like you said, no chance of falling down because you can't, right? Sometimes life will push you down and push your face in the mud and drown you. I mean, literally, life can kill you, as we all know. But it sounds like you've got the right attitude, which is basically I'm going to strive, and you've got your house and whatever commitments you're developing, and hopefully, do you have a reason? This might sound a little bit over the top, but I mean it. Do you have a reason to live? And I don't mean it to sound like you're desperate, like you wouldn't want to be around anymore, but having a reason to live, having a purpose, even if it's just to maintain your mortgage and build a home and build a place that you want, is a very grounding and fortifying thing. It's the thing that in retirement that I'm kind of struggling with, as I said earlier in this particular video, not having the sense of motive, of necessity, right? Is there something necessary that's important for you to help push you forward and maybe further yourself into the next step? And with that, I'm through the comments, and I'll stop for now. The farmer, there he is. He's just standing over there, right there. Oh, there's more comments. Hash 004 says, oh man, that would have been crazy. Imagine paths being crossed. I want to move back to Shiz, but with young kids, it's difficult at the moment. Wife and I decided to move to Ireland. Ooh, neat. She's Irish. Maybe when they get older. That's exactly what Yumiko and I did. We moved back to America, finished raising our daughter there, and as soon as Emily was grown, we came back, and we're back. If you come back, look me up. Let's go have tea or beer. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off for now. Wish you all the best. Be as safe as you want to be. Take care.